Greetings everyone, it's IT2. Just going to give you guys a little update on my book situation. I've got a little bit of a haul, a little bit of a book review for you combined. So we had this big yard sale dealio last weekend, and I got some things. I also went to Goodwill. I think I got some things. And my friend from work got me a couple of things. So came into work last. He's kind of like that follower from Starfield, or one of your followers. You know, they always they find stuff and they say, "Hey, I found something you might be interested in." He just brings me these books. He's been to Goodwill. Can be hit or miss because he doesn't understand like fantasy and sci-fi and what I like. He just kind of guesses. So he brought me this Nora Roberts book, which is kind of like an author my mom liked. It just looks like it could be interesting. I don't know. I've never read Nora Roberts. I've got one book by her I haven't read yet. Usually she writes kind of romance kind of things, I think. But we'll check it out. But then he whips this out. I'm like, holy shit, you got Fire and Blood at Goodwill for $1? It's like, yeah, is it good? I'm like, yeah, it's good. I already read it like earlier this year or last year, late last year. But I had to get it from the library though. I didn't have my own copy. I've got a fucking hardcover copy of Fire and Blood. This is very, very nice, pristine, like mint condition pretty much. One of the pages was like folded. But very happy with this. So then when I went to Goodwill, I got some things. I got Under the Fang, edited by Robert McCammon. I don't know if he wrote any of the stories in this, but he edited it. That's the reason I got it. We got like, oh yeah, one's by him, I think, and then there's like Richard Lehman, I think I've heard of. And Clifford Brooks, is that something? Dan Perez, Clint Collins, Nancy Collins, Sidney Williams, Robert Penn. I've never heard of any of these people. Charles DeLint. Okay, yeah, that's one I've heard of. So there's a few short story compilations. Might be alright. Michael Crichton Disclosure. This is one of Michael Crichton's I've never got. I've seen this book 1,000 times, but I was hoping to get one without the movie tie-in cover. I don't know if it's like typical. Like, doesn't he usually write thrillers? I don't even know what Disclosure is about. I've never seen the movie. I keep thinking it's like, what's that one with the Sharon Stone spreads her legs? That's not Disclosure, right? It's not Scent of a Woman. What the fuck is that movie? What am I thinking of? Anyway, I got Eyes of Darkness by Dean Koontz. This is one I don't think I own. Pretty sure these are all Goodwill finds. This one I fucked up. I already have a copy of this, Storm Thief by Chris Wooding. I thought maybe this would be like a series that this was the one I was missing, but it wasn't. So I got an extra copy of this now. And then I got one of the Robert Galbraith novels. This is J.K. Rowling's pseudonym, Lethal White, Cormorant Strike. So this is a large print. Oh man, it doesn't look large print. It looks pretty normal to me. It doesn't look like it's for old blind people. That's just that normal font size. I don't know why it says large print. Maybe they've swapped covers on this one or something. Anyway, maybe there's like one more in that series I don't have. I don't have that one completed. And then I got, just for fun, this is like a kid's book. It's actually 4 books, but it was a box set at Goodwill for $1 for the whole thing. And I had a couple of these when I was a kid. This is like a vampire novel about a dog and a cat and a rabbit. Maybe 3 dogs and a cat. What's the one I had when I was a kid? This one. The celery stalks at midnight. See, there's a little dachshund, there's an orange tabby, and there's a bigger dog. And there's supposed to be this vampire rabbit, Bunnicula. And this rabbit, she has like vampire fangs and she like sucks the juice out of vegetables. And these dogs and cats are kind of like Nancy Drew or the Hardy Boys, and they're trying to solve some kind of a mystery. I just remember reading this when I was a kid. Back when you'd have the troll book fair at school, you know. The good days. And I just wanted to have these. Not because I'm planning on having kids anytime soon, but just to look at. Maybe I'll flip through them someday. So that's pretty cool find as well. And apparently it's not going to stand up. And then I got this one. I'm sure you've probably heard of this if you've watched any Discovery or History Channel shows. Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock. This is a massive book. It's actually like 500 pages. It's got pictures. There's a bunch of these. Chariots of the Gods. That's not Graham Hancock. That's oh, what is his name? Oh, I'm drawing a blank. But Graham Hancock, he's the kind of legit guy that he does all like the Egypt stuff and the thing over like in Washington State in Canada about the he does that new show Alien Apocalypse or something like that. Ancient Aliens he was on. Who's that other guy? It's not Zechariah Stitchens, is it? I think it's another guy. I'm trying to think of. I don't know. Anyway, I got these at the yard sale or something. I got Clive Barker, Damnation Game. Clive Barker, I feel like I would like. I don't remember if I've read it to him or not. Anne Rice, Angel Time. I didn't really know what this was. I know there's some of the Vampire Chronicles towards the end that they added on, or she added on, but I haven't read. But I don't think this is a vampire novel. It's got a whole list of all the vampire novels right here. Cry to Heaven, Feast of All Saints. Wait, this is going backwards. Maybe this is after Christ the Lord out of Egypt and the road to Cana and called out of darkness. So this is after those three. So maybe this is about Jesus. Angel Time, a book about Jesus. I don't know. We'll check it out. And I got this one, Murasaki. There's an author named Murasaki, but I don't think that's what this is. This is a novel in 6 parts by Paul Anderson, Greg Bear, Gregory Benford, Frederick Pohl, and then like a couple of other people, like different sci-fi authors. Yeah. It's got a spaceship on it. So this is not an anthology. It's all one story written by 6, 7 different people, I think. Seems weird. I thought it might be worth something, so I bought it. Might be rare. So then I also read this one, which I already have, Dead to the World, Charlene Harris. This is the one where Bill has gone on a mission somewhere to Peru, and she's left with the other guy. What the heck's his name? Eric the vampire, yeah. So she kind of starts a romance with Eric because Eric gets cursed by a witch and he loses his memory. So now he's not the asshole he normally is. He's like an innocent, undead, immortal vampire guy, which also she's attracted to because she can't hear his thoughts. I think also she's kind of in a love triangle between him and Bill and also her boss, Merlot. So, I don't know. This was pretty good. Still weird because I'm watching a TV show at the same time and like, what's that dude, the black dude? He's already been killed off in the second book. And her friend Tara is in the show, but she's a totally different person than she's in the book. But they haven't even addressed any of her kind of storyline in the books at all. What actually happened in this one? Oh yeah, they had to chase down those witches and kill them. Killed a bunch of witches. There was a reverend involved. I think the werewolves have kind of been helping out also. Shifters and werewolves. Yeah. So she's kind of also getting involved with Alcide. So it's a love quintangle. What do you call it? Pentangle? And there's 5 people involved. Anyway, also finished The Big Short by Michael Lewis. It's about the 2008 housing crisis. If you don't know anything about shorting stocks or subprime loans or collateralized debt obligations, CDLs, and tranches of AAA bonds, I mean, this will really teach you. I mean, this was what I was using as a toilet book because you read it when you're on the toilet. But then I wanted to read the rest of it, so I just finished it off. It's really good. The movie, outstanding. If you've never seen the movie, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And then I also started on Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I got to like page 69. And I'm like, fuck this shit. It got too bad. I don't know, it's because like the first book Seth Grahame-Smith wrote about Abraham Lincoln the Vampire Hunter was phenomenal. I was like, I can't believe how serious he's taking this. It's really like cool and interesting, and he's writing it well. But then this one, there's fucking ninjas in it, and he's writing it exactly, I assume, in the style Jane Austen would write something. Very Victorian, very like for women, kind of the way women talk. Like, you know, men talk directly and they ask specific questions and try to solve problems and try to figure things out. Women talk in big loop-de-loops and they never really want to say what they mean, and they'll spend pages and pages talking about this guy Darcy in here, and this guy has these 4 daughters and they're like trained to fight zombies, but like they keep talking about this guy Darcy and how they don't like him, but like it's almost as if there's no other men in their town, that he has to marry one of these 4 daughters and none of them really like him, and they keep trying to explain why they don't like him, but they just keep talking in circles and not really saying specifically what it is. That just the language, just the Victorian style language of not saying, they say lots of words, but they don't say anything at all with all of their words that they're using. Like, goddamn, get to the fucking point. What are you trying to say? Just on and on and on. And there's no story. It's just like, it's just they're doing stuff, I guess, but there's also zombies there kind of in the background. It's like, they call them the unmentionables, or they don't call them the undead menace. They call them like sorrowful creatures that they feel sad about or something. Just like, what does it start out with? It is a truth universally acknowledged that a zombie in possession of brains must be in want of more brains. Never was this truth more plain than during the recent attacks at Netherfield Park, in which a household of 18 was slaughtered and consumed by a horde of the living dead. Starts out pretty good. "My dear Mr. Bennett," said his lady to him one day, "have you heard that Netherfield Park is occupied again?" "But it is," returned she. Who talks like that? Mr. Bennett made no answer. "Do you not want to know who has taken it?" cried his wife impatiently. "Woman, I am attending to my musket. Prattle on if you must, but leave me to the defense of my estate." And they did prattle on and prattle on and prattle on for 60, 70 pages. Not saying fucking nothing. Listen to this bullshit. "When I am in the country, I never wish to leave it, and when I'm in town, it is pretty much the same. They have each their advantages both in regards to the plague and otherwise. For while I sleep more soundly in the safety of town, I find my general disposition much improved by my present surroundings." Just say what you mean. Like, you like it in the country and you like it in the city sometimes. Sometimes you feel safe there, sometimes you feel safe here. I don't know. Why you gotta say 50,000 words to say hardly anything? I wish I had some better examples. Here's Mr. Darcy talking about the women he kind of likes. "A woman must have a thorough knowledge of music, singing, drawing, dancing, and the modern languages. She must be well trained in the fighting styles of the Kyoto masters and the modern tactics and weaponry of Europe. Besides all this, she must possess a certain something in her air and manner of walking, the tone of her voice, her address and expressions, or the word will be but half deserved. All this she must possess, and to all this she must yet add something more substantial, and the improvement of her mind by extensive reading." I'm no longer surprised at your knowing only 6 accomplished women. I rather wonder now at your knowing any. That's a big insult, apparently. You have to like decipher their weird women talk to try to figure out what they're saying. I can suffer this no more tolerable times, then I must end this video now. Upon my awakening, I have potatoes boiling upon thine stove, and I have food to eat.